Hello all, welcome back to the channel. We're back at the '07 gsxr 600. We ended the video last time with me pulling the tank up and then just running out of steam. So let's take this tank off and then we'll take the air box off and then check those valves. I did end the last video, that's correct. I didn't video it, but I ended the last video just before I took it for a test ride, and I did find some issues on that last test ride. The gauge cluster was going in and out. So while I was riding, the cluster would show first gear, neutral, and then second, third, so on, and then it would just go in and out and turn on and off. I did a little checked wires, harnesses, and let me see if you could see this. I found a bad connection here at this front connector harness. The previous owner had this wire shoved in there and taped. I pulled the connector out and the connector was damaged and burned. So I didn't have this particular connector on hand. A good repair would be to purchase the terminal inside, crimp the wire back on there and put the terminal back in, but I did not have that terminal, and to buy one little terminal shipping, it's going to be $5-10. It's pointless. You have to order like a whole pack. So what I did was I soldered a jumper wire on here, and then I soldered this connector onto the other side of the wire, and then everything, and then I also made a removable connector here, so whoever gets the bike, it's like not, the sun's messing up the focus. Whoever gets the bike can actually disconnect this in the future if they need to do some work to it. But that's my fix. Like I said, this is a budget. Normally, I wouldn't do this kind of fix, but waiting another week plus for a pack of connectors just to fix one wire, it's not really worth it. Keep in mind, guys, this bike does have 38,000 miles on it, so you're not going to be able to get too much out of it. So fix what you can fix at a cheap price and call it done. Should be able just to prop this up instead of removing it, because I also have spark plugs I want to replace on it. Let me get the prop. And I know it's been like 3 or so weeks since I did this. Forgive me, I've been pretty busy. This is going to go into another part, especially if this needs shims. 38,000 miles, it's definitely going to be out of adjustment. There's no way, unless the previous owner did that. The condition of the bike, I doubt it. But if it does need shims, then I'll have to order the shims that I need, because I don't have that master kit. So it looks like there's a hole in the frame here. Put a screwdriver through there and you can loosen up the air box. Of course, I don't have my tools ready. Yes, I did buy this specifically for doing this. I believe it's Harbor Freight. Bought it so long ago, I don't remember. Something's missing here. It's supposed to have a cage. That, two of them are connected together. You loosen the outside one and then it loosens the two, but this one's not like that. Connectors here, and you have it's like an Allen holding the air box down. I think I have my Allens. Forgive me, I got tools all over the place here. Surprised that bolt was even in there. Most of the time that airbox mounting bolt is missing. So got two relays mounted here, and then it looks like an intake temp sensor. Should be a hose on this side and a hose on the other side. That's probably another benefit of taking the tank off. Probably a crankcase breather line, and the other one's on the valve cover. Most likely, oh, it's got a good filter in there. I don't think these have EGR. Just vapors, crankcase vapors, and the vapors on the valve cover because it's connected to a valve. But that's it. 3 connectors, or I should say 1 connector, 2 relays, and 2 breather lines, and unscrew them and they come right off. This particular engine has dual injectors per cylinder, upper and lower. Now we can gain access to, show you this here. See, pretty much right there with everything. Shove these out of the way. And there's your coils. You're going to pull those out, pull out the spark plugs, and then take that cam cover off. And then here's your upper injectors, and then just underneath you can see the lower injector. Pretty impressive engineering, you know, for 07. You know, wonder what the new bikes look like. Haven't had one yet, you know, with all the modern, you know, traction control, ABS, all that stuff. I like these older ones without all that stuff. It's just easier to work on, less headache. You don't have to bring it to the dealer all the time for ECM flashes and updates, and you know, generally you could just work on it. These newer bikes are just ridiculous, just like the cars. It's like no one has really been in here. None of the connectors, nothing, none of the emission stuff has been removed except for the that exhaust flapper, that valve. But we still got OEM coils, hard to get out, so they haven't been taken out. Which tells me it's probably going to need a valve adjustment. It is not fun to do it inside the bike. It looks like I'm clear except for the breather hoses on top of the valve cover. I'm wondering if it's exhaust gas recirculation. Could be that too. Ooh, those hoses are not coming off. Wow, those are really stiff on there. Ooh, that's not working. The rubber's so stiff. Rubber just so hard on there from getting baked. Ah, there we go. Just a little pryage. That doesn't work. might have to take the throttle position sensor might be in the way. Of course, the push connector is right next to the frame, so you can't get in there. So you have to try it. There we go. Just shoving all these wires in the ram air duct so they're out of the way. Looks bigger than that. What is that? It's like a number 9 hex. We'll take the hell's it called? The cam cover off. Alright, we're loosening these up so you go outside in. That one is going to be tough to get to. Sorry, I said hex, I meant Allen. Number 9. It is tight in here. Very difficult to get to these. The corner ones are tough. There's a cam sensor in there I didn't see. Get that out of there too. Motors. Looks like the valve is in the way. Plug the sensor, it'll come with the cam cover. Alright, I just took the solenoid out. It's gotta be EGR. Now I can get to that back one, and then that corner one I'll probably have to use a regular Allen. Yeah, that corner one I'll have to get a regular Allen. Okay, I got it. It's actually 6 millimeter, not 9. Just reading it upside down. This is tight quarters. Trying to avoid taking off the radiator and everything because it is tight in here. Wow, that is tight. Oh, there it goes. Ooh, got it. That one was a pain. All right, let's remove the rest. Been meaning to replace my rubber mallet, but I don't think I have one. Okay, I don't have a rubber mallet, so I just took my little trim tool. It's plastic, and I just tapped against the cover and the cylinder head, and it popped right up. Now let's see if we can even get it out of here. Still stuck a little bit. You're gonna pry on it, just make sure you don't damage that seal, because that seal is reusable. It's really stuck. There must be silicone on this side. It's stuck. Just disconnected the stator wires. Alright, I'm gonna have to do the same thing on the other side. We may have put RTV on this side, so it's sticking there pretty good. Yeah, that's the problem. Little cam pockets where the seal goes. There's RTV in there. It's loose, but it is not coming out. Harnesses in the way. It's like they want you to pull the engine just to do this. Stuck in there. Looks like I'll have to take the throttle bodies off to get it out of there. And the throttle bodies. Same type, same kind of clamps as the air box. It's a 4 Phillips head screw clamps. Of course, you can't see that other cylinder. You can't see it at all. Disconnected the fuel pump assembly, or the connector. See if I can wiggle this out of here. Okay, they popped out of the boot, so I'm just gonna move it back a little bit. It is tight, there's no doubt about it. Both harnesses are in the way. And this cam seal is still stuck. What I'm doing now, I'm just popping the seal out of the cover so I can at least get the damn cover off. Probably should have bought a service manual for this, because it looks like I have to swing that radiator out of the way. What do I do with the wrench? tell me it was on the other side, guys. Whew. We're losing light. Removing the upper radiator bolts, 10 millimeter, just 2 of them, and then I'm just gonna push the radiator forward a little bit so I don't have to drain all the coolant and spend extra money for nothing. I personally don't have a dedicated coolant container that I can reuse it. This thing is being stubborn. Seals out. This sucker is wedged in there. Too much stuff in the way. Frame, harnesses. No matter which way I move it, it doesn't do anything. Bring it up high enough to get it out of there. So I think that is the issue. You may have to lower this engine. Not remove it, but lower it to get the cover off. Well, that's stupid. Give me a few minutes so I can get my Google certification on how to get this cam cover off. Okay, I got it out. No Google certification needed. I ended up pulling the throttle bodies, the cables. Got to remove the cables so you can move the throttle bodies back more, because it was pretty much hitting the TPS sensor and the throttle cable bracket. So that way you can lift it up and get the cam side, or the gear side, cam gear side of the cam cover out and over, and then it pops right out. I was losing faith in myself for a minute there, because I've worked on a lot of GSXRs, and They were not this complicated to remove the cam cover. I'll tell you that right now. So much more crap on these things, and the frames are smaller and thinner. It's just so tight. Here we go. There is the valves. So now, just to check the clearance on them, all you need is your feeler gauge, and whenever a lobe is up, stick the feeler gauge under there and get your reading. I will have to look on Google to get the specs, because I do not have a service manual for this bike. So I'm going to grab the feeler gauge, and you'll have to, let's see, turn the engine over with this cap. So pop this cap off, and then you can keep turning the engine over till the lobes are on the top of the cam you want to check the lash on, or clearance, I should say. Clearance, not lash. All right, let's grab some tools, feeler gauge, and let's get going. I'm losing light. I got about 30 more minutes. All right, I made a diagram here that's just telling me left side of engine, right side of engine. That's sitting on the bike, you know, so it would look like this: left, right. And then here's all the valves, and then I'm just gonna mark the numbers I get, and then we'll have to end the video there, and then I'll research what's in spec, what's out of spec, and then I'll have to order any shims as needed. Okay, I also made a note: exhaust and intake side of it. So here we go. I'm gonna start off with the, looks like the intake side. I'm guessing that's number 4 cylinder. So a rough estimate's going to be, on the intake and the exhaust, I'm going to figure they should be anywhere from 5 thousandths to 11 thousandths. So let me start off with 5 here. Five fits. That one is 5. 5 is tight on the one next to it. Okay, so I got 4 thousandths and 5 thousandths. Let me check and see if there's any other cams that are sticking up. Does not look like it. So let me turn it. Cylinder next to it, it's like number 3 cylinder intake. Four thousandths on those. quite get to that. It's still a little down. Let me turn it again. Number 2 exhaust is 7 thousandths. Trying to hurry up, guys. It's getting dark. Our number 1 intake is 5 thousandths and 4 thousandths. Who do I need? I need 4 more. I wrote the spec on the wrong one. Number 1. I don't know which one number 1 is. were 6 thousandths. Both 5 thousandths on the intake number 2. Okay, I have 2 more exhaust ones left. Number 1 and 3 cylinder. That one is hard to see. Those are 7 thousandths. All right, the last cylinder. All right, last cylinder, 1 exhaust. Oh, I did have to remove this coolant line to get the cam cover off too. I forgot to mention that. So I lost coolant anyway. Six, not 7. Seven's tight on one, but not on the other. So 7 thousandths, and then 6 thousandths on the last one. Okay, this is what I got. Exhaust, I'm going to call this number 1 cylinder. The cam chain is on this side. I don't have a service manual, so for the sake of memory, I'm just going to call this cylinder 1 and cylinder 4. So cylinder 1 exhaust, 7 thousandths and 6 thousandths. Cylinder 1 intake, 5 thousandths and 4 thousandths. And then, I mean, the exhaust ones don't look that bad. I'm hoping the spec for exhaust is 6 thousandths and not 7 or 8, because usually the exhaust there's a little bit more because they get hot and they expand more. So usually they're between 8 and 11 thousandths. So this is worrying me because they're so accurate, or they're so dead on, pretty close to each other. Cylinder 2, 7 thousandths, 7 thousandths exhaust. Cylinder 3, 7 thousandths, 7 thousandths exhaust. Cylinder 4, 6 thousandths and 6 thousandths. Intakes 5 thousandths and 4 thousand on number 1 intake. 5 thousandths, 5 thousand number 2, 4 thousand, 4 thousand number 3, 4 thousand, 5 thousand number 4. So that's where we're going to wrap it up today, because these are just numbers. I don't know what they mean until I get the spec, and so I'll have to get a service manual on Google and see where we fall on that. But appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next time. Please like and subscribe.